So welcome to the conclusion. In the conclusion, I state that the manipulation of patients through the means of fear, humiliation, and isolation essentially lead the patients to be emasculated and stripped of their dignity, which causes them to be weak and unable to resist attacks from the Combine, which I will explain a little more about in a second. Miss Ratched, or Nurse Ratched, who Chief Broomden calls the Big Nurse, is a very powerful individual in the story. She is the head nurse of the ward, and she is the antagonist. Now, Chief Broomden is the narrator of the story, and when he speaks about Nurse Ratched, he describes her as very scary and huge and machine-like, relating her to the Combine, which is a representation of the oppression against the people in society, where the psychiatric ward represents where people go who don't follow the path the Combine really wants them to go on, so they send them to this hospital and hope if they do come back that they fit in, kind of, and they're cured. Kind of similar to last year's novel 1984 by George Orwell, where people are manipulated as well. And I'd like to speak about this children's rhyme lower on the screen here. It says, "Tingle, tingle, tangle toe, she's a good fisherman. Catches hens, puts them in a pen. Wire, blyer, limber, lock, 3 geese in a flock. One flew east, one flew west, one flew over cuckoo's nest. O-U-T spells out, goose swoops down and plucks you out." This is a very good quote that I got from the novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It really portrays the characters and the setting. Of course, cuckoo, we think of not only the bird, but kind of craziness. So the cuckoo's nest is essentially the mental psychiatric ward where all these people, even if they're not totally that crazy, seem to be going. And she's a good fisherman. That's a key line. That is clearly Nurse Ratched, who is catching those hens, the patients, and I'm sure it is no coincidence that Mr. Kesey chose Mr. McMurphy, the protagonist of the story, to speak about a pecking party in which all the patients seem to go to group therapy, and they peck at each other and they kind of tear each other apart. And he says a pecking party can wipe out a whole clan of chickens, which he is relating to the group of people in the ward.